what is the issue? They said, okay, we are united. If we go our own way, we will be better. That's not a lie. If Nigeria should be back today, it's not a lie. People can do better. You know, there are a lot of things that happen that you see that these guys, they are not. They have a lot of. They're not similar.
We are not compatible as a people.
Yes, you can say we are not compatible because of this particular thing I want to mention, underdevelopment. uh, Underdevelopment, because you can't tell me I live in the UK, they have issues with tribalism, they have issues with racism. In fact, there are people that different even inside the UK, they feel that those people no, this remember past wars and past history that happened so many years ago. So it's that way. Like people, um, you bring so many people in the room. In Nigeria, you brought so many people in the room. There was no time for the cohesion. They are not ripe. They were like there are a lot of things to be done, but prematurely we had to unite for Nigeria, and we are facing the whole consequences today.
Let's
And
speak
if you
to.
go
Okay,
separation,
I'm
no,
listening. Okay, I
okay.
wanted to
If you go by
quickly.
separation,
Okay.
if you go by separation,
Mm,
it still does not solve mass problem.
mm.
It does not solve the inherent selfishness in our hearts. Look at, I don't want to mention, I don't, in fact, let's go on. I wouldn't want to talk about that part of the politics in Nigeria where, yeah, I would have asked you what has changed in your local community. What has changed? Have you not seen where a common man who was from nowhere become a local government chairman and you misuse fund? You see how typically life changes. So what do you think that will change if your governor cannot represent you well? What do you think that will change? The same people that they are telling you, let's go to a sovereign state, is the same people you are going to deal with. You are going to face the governors. They are not going to run away from the Alibo. You can't have you want to bring the power and now give it to, okay, let's take it to the Agboro or the miscreant that are shouting, okay, we want I pop by this and you understand. So you want to take the government and give it to them. So how will they be able to manage the government? You understand? It still boils down to our underdevelopment affects a lot of things, misinformation, poverty, things that really like it's a lot of gap for us to meet up with. And where there is this deficiency of education and learning, things like bigotry, tribalism, we take over. It will still.
I am one of those. I want to quickly, drive you to the part of the social media opinion. I am one of those that believe that we are yet to fully harness the power of social media. In fact, I think that we haven't even comprehended how much social media contributes to our daily activities as a people. You would have it that social media is the reason why someone wakes up by 6 a.m. and he's still on bed for the next 2 hours. He wants to leave, but he cannot. So people consume a lot of information on social media. Bringing it down to the subject matter, I think that practically the social media space has become a force developed countries use even in their nation building. What are we getting wrong and what are we supposed to be getting right? When it comes to social media, especially for those of us that feel that we have the interest of the nation at heart.
What we are having, this discussion we are having now is also one of the effects of social media. I hope you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a roundtable discussion going on in different angles about different topics, and you are also seeing what is happening, and you're also bringing it back and saying, okay, let's discuss this because it's already happening in social media. So
Yes.
social media is actually a part of our life now. Whether you like it or not, everybody cannot leave social media, and people will live there. And right now, neighbor, um, like right now, there's no, you cannot create vacuum anywhere. Like they say, nature does not abhor vacuum. At every time, somebody will be there talking. So what do we do? Is to look at the effect of social media. I would say that everything that have good also have bad.
Mm.
There's also misuse. When you hear people talk about substance misuse, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Substance misuse. When you talk about drugs is meant for a good thing. Generally, the name of drug is for healing. It's medicine. You understand what I'm saying? So when you now hear substance misuse, in generally, whenever you hear substance misuse, it just takes over the whole thing. In fact, when you hear drugs, it don't right now in my head when I hear drugs, when you say, I will not think the bad part of it,
Mm.
because
Exactly.
the other one have taken over the whole part.
Yes.
When you mention social media now, your mom will, let me use an example. Maybe you're on your phone and someone asks, "What's he doing?" They'll say, "He's on social media. That's what he does." Oh, because screen time, our phone, aside social media, our phone is everything that we have. It's our MP3, it's our video, it's our Bible, it's our calendar, it's our task, every, eh, almost everything. So now social media is where people go to share about things that happen in real life. But these things have been abused. A lot of people have been put like on a serious pressure. I was making a write up the other day about social media. I was writing about, because I wanted to make a post. I wanted to make a post. So do you know I have to go through like 5 edits of that post? Like with the picture content, I have to remove ad. Now, when at the end of the day, I didn't make the post. So I was just thinking, so this is what really happened in real life. So the most important part of this thing I want to say, I've thrown it away. I want to put out something that will suit everybody, my
To create
audience.
perfection out of what you.
Yes, yes. You don't want to, in social media we hide flaws. Nobody knows how their underbed is on social media. You understand? Everybody, people portrays the. If you want to say, write something today about good things that people can read about, blah blah blah, they might not read it. But when you bring out things that may be controversial, maybe something that is interesting, tell stories that are fairly like fairy tales that does not happen anywhere. Make it look like real things. Put it to yourself, and you see people, you know, like movies. You know, so it's where people want to portray perfection, but however, this thing does not, in any ways, social media is not real life.
Yeah, just before
Social
I
media is
let
not
you
real
go,
life.
you participated actively in this social media campaign. The Restore People Light social media campaign, a campaign that gained popularity on Facebook and attracted the attention of the government. Do you think that more could be do you think that we engage enough on social media, or rather we should engage more physically? Because some people argue that we should be taken to the streets and we are becoming keypad warriors in this generation. What do you think? More on the street or more on
Yeah,
social
yeah.
media?
I totally agree with you that we should go to the streets. Because we are becoming keypad warrior. In fact, when I was in Nigeria, I was also in the street. In fact, I remember particular time after the election, I wanted to let who could go, like, let's express, but there are real issues in the streets. In the streets, it's very very volatile. people can be apprehended, and that will be all you hear of them. On the streets, somebody within your group can go and cause mayhem somewhere, and you'll be held liable. So, in as much as we say the street is, yeah, we need to come out and say, but there are different ways of doing this. Like you mentioned, in our traffic lights, I must say that we achieved to a reasonable extent where we had the governor talk about it, issue a statement, and directly or indirectly claiming that he's working on it right now, But what I want to say is that social media, like I said earlier, it has come to stay, and most of us need to learn how to use it, whether they don't like it or not. Everybody that that is, let me say, every politician that is on social media, whether he's not active with his account, but he's saying whatever is happening. In fact, whatever he's saying, somebody is showing him or her, like, see what these people are talking about. It's more like the dailies. You people read what's happening in the dailies. So our people should not in any way shy away from. They will say, this one have gone to UK. You are not becoming insulting. You are not saying this. You are not saying this. You are not calling people. But when I was in Nigeria, I was doing that. So what tool do I have? Let me even remind you back then. Do you know those 1999? There was no social media. When we were coming into politics with no social media, what people do? People go on demonstration. People go to protest, and then even a politician had their own weapon that they use, like using of talk and all that. But now nobody wants to use the talk now because you are in your house. You are saying when you are expressing yourself. Those days you have gathered people to go and express yourself in someone's house. Now you stay where you are and still say what you want to say. But then if you have to say things, make sure you are saying things that are accurate and not lies. Telling adult that they steal is not an insult. Telling a politician that you need to sit up is not an insult. They are in public service. That's what we did with that people night. We called them out and said, "Oga, sit up. You can't be doing this." People gave you their votes. And in a country where things work very well, they should be asking you, what are you doing with the funds and whatever? What are you doing in fact, with the darkness that is not people? So people should not shy away from what is happening, because at the end of the day, they will be the one to sponsor. Like we know, they have people that have SAs and TAs who are on social media, saying all good manners of things, propaganda, doing the edits, in fact, there are many chief communicates. Yes,
exactly.
There are many chief communicates in their camp. So if you're not there, they will triumph. So if light stops being light, darkness will triumph. That's my point.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Sip&Ponder. I am very happy to have you here.
My brother, thank you. I also must say you're doing very well. I've been seeing a lot of things you're doing, and I'm impressed. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
This is what we're talking about social media. This is what we're talking about social media. We want to create a niche. We want to create a space where we'll have a good discussion, something that we can can be on a positive side and can also enlighten us and the younger generation.
Exactly. This is it for today's episode of Sip&Ponder with SirguyIsHere. With me on the show today was Obinna, all the way from UK. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, SirguyIsHere. Stay tuned and stay locked in on Sip&Ponder. Till we meet again.